Hey guys, so this is a little bit awkward for me, this first bit. I'm going to do it anyway. I feel like if I don't acknowledge it, it's just as awkward. So yeah, I got all my hair chopped off and wanted to do it for years. I decided to just finally do it, whether I was going to like it or not, because it will grow back. And I really like it, so I'm pleased. Glad I did it. It's gone. Now onto the books. So I decided to do a December TBR. I very rarely do TBRs because I'm really bad at sticking to them and I instantly feel like homework. But what I've done here is I've decided to show you the books I know I will read, like for definite, and there's not very many of them, and then the rest of my month is left clear because actually all the books I want to read I know I can't physically get done in the month, so there's no point talking about all of them because I mean there is not no point, but the video will be really long and I may not get to loads of them. So these are the core group of books that I will definitely get to. So the first three I showed you guys ages ago in a 5-star predictions video, which I'll link up here somewhere if I can find it, and still haven't read them. I've been really bad at my 5-star predictions video this year. So the three books are The Knife Drawer by Patricia Tarrant, and when I mentioned this in my 5-star predictions video, a few people told me this book is set in the winter and I think Christmas is involved, so I sort of decided to put it off, and it feels like if I don't read it now I'm going to have to wait a whole other year. I don't think you have to read it this time of year, but I think it will make it a bit nicer. So this is a gothic novel set in an old crumbling Victorian house, but it's very odd, like the knives and the mice talk, and yeah, I don't really know what to expect, but I'm hoping it's well handled oddness so that I can enjoy it, because it's quite long for an odd novel, but I've not read many weird and wacky books this year, so hopefully this will get me back in the groove of wanting to pick them up. So there's that one. Then another thing I've been really rubbish at recently, which is something I used to love, is short story collections. I think I've read 1, maybe 2 this year. I actually had a little look the other day, and if I made a graph of my short story reading, it is at its peak in like 2015, 2016, and then it just nosedives to the point where I read like a few last year, 1 this year. And I don't really know why it's happened. I think perhaps I had a few that weren't as good, and obviously I had the, not obviously, you may not all know, but I had a period where I just didn't enjoy reading as much, that started sort of late last summer in 2017. And I just not really got back in my mode of sort of selecting all the things I like to read. So this is one of the short story collections I thought I'd give 5 stars, and I've read the first 2 stories I think a couple of months ago, but I want to try and finish it before the end of the year, and that is Portable Childhoods by Ellen Clage. Never know how you say that. So this is an awful cover, it's really bad. It's supposed to be a really good collection, and yeah, I'm hoping this will get me back in the swing of things. Even if I don't enjoy this, I'm still going to get myself back in the swing of at least reading 1 a month, because for me, like a few years ago, 1 short story collection a month was hardly anything. So yeah, I don't know how I've got myself in this situation, but I'm hoping this will help me boost me back into it. There's that one. And then this one I've mentioned loads on this channel. This is A Line Made by Walking by Sarah Baum. I feel like I could love it. It's about a woman who's around my age who's suffering with depression, and she goes to live in an isolated house that was once her grandmother's, but she's since passed away. And it's just about how she deals with that. It's a lot to do with art and loneliness. And I think I will adore it, but I always feel like it's going to make me feel depressed reading it. Sometimes, depending on my state of mind, I'm not so good with reading or watching or just consuming myself in sort of bleak stories. And yeah, I've just been sort of putting this off because of that, but I feel like I'll be okay to read it and enjoy it at the moment. So there's that one. And then I have a few books that I know I'll get to because they're all quite short, and I like to try and sort of start the year afresh with lots of my graphic novels, coffee table books. So I was sent this by the publisher. This is Cree by Una, and this is like 50 pages long. I don't really know what to expect at all, but I heard really positive things about her previous graphic novel, which I can't remember the name of. But yeah, this looks quite interesting, and yeah, I don't really have any idea what it's about, but I feel like this is one I could sit down with a cup of tea and have a read of, and then let you guys know what I think. Then another graphic novel that I was sent by the publisher is Woman in Battle by Martha Breen and Jenny Jordal, and this is a collection of I guess short biopics on fantastic women and the things they've done throughout history, and it's quite contemporary. I think it comes all the way up to like 2016, and I really like the art style in this one. Each story is black and white and then a different colour tone. which I think is really cool. So yeah, looking forward to this one. And actually, whilst there's been loads of books like that coming out in the last few years, I haven't really read any of them because I'm not one for those sort of books, like coffee table books, or I just don't, if I get them I don't tend to pick them up, so I think for me this will be a bit fresh. So yeah, fingers crossed I enjoy it. And the last one is a sort of large format beautiful children's book, and that is And the Ocean Was Our Sky by Patrick Ness. This is illustrated by Ravina Kai, and this is a reimagining of Moby Dick from the whale's perspective. It is absolutely beautiful. Let me try and find a page. That was a nice page, but I wanted a page with the whales in. There you go, so it's really beautiful, and it starts out with the whales are almost like an army and they're planning their strike on the ship. So yeah, I think this is going to be quite interesting, could be quite dark, and I'm always happy to see things from the animal's perspective because pretty much most of the time we're the ones who are fucked up. So yeah, looking forward to this one. And then I have two children's books that are sort of wintry / Christmassy that I've recently purchased that I'd really like to read this month. Firstly, I have Winter Magic. This is a collection of short stories. It's been curated by Abby Elphinstone. She is a middle grade children's book writer. And yeah, I think there's around 10 stories in here, and I'm going to be buddy reading this with Eleanor and Lauren because they both got one of these as well. It's beautiful. And I've never read short stories that are aimed at children, so I'm hoping I'll really enjoy this. And yeah, I had a little flick at the first story, which is by Emma Carroll, and I've never read any of her books, but I feel like I could really enjoy them. And it started out really like just sweetly, and I just feel like this is going to be a really cosy and comforting and just glorious, and hopefully will allow me to find new children's book authors I enjoy, because there's quite a few I've heard of, but then there's actually quite a lot that I haven't heard of before, so there's that one. And then the last one is 12 Nights by Andrew Searcher. So I think this one actually starts on Christmas Eve, so I might read this the weekend before Christmas. And this is about a brother and sister, I think, and their father doesn't arrive home, so their mother says let's drive to Cambridge University where he works to go and collect him because it's Christmas Eve and he should be home by now. And when they get there, everybody there says they've never heard of him, and these weird creatures appear, and I think it's about like this other magical world. It's being compared to Lewis Carroll and Philip Pullman, so I mean loads of books are compared to those two authors, but yeah, I'm hoping this will be somewhat like Philip Pullman, so we shall see. So yeah, there we go. So those are the books I think I will get to without much struggle. And obviously I'll try and read lots more in December. I have worked out I've got 15 more working days in December, and then 15 more. I've not worked any days in December yet. It's December the 1st and it's a Saturday. So yeah, 15 days of December I will work, and the rest of the month is weekends or the Christmas break, because I'm very lucky where I work that we get the Christmas break off. So yeah, there should be quite a lot of time for reading, and other than, you know, Christmas family time, I've not got loads planned in the build up to Christmas, so fingers crossed I'll get lots read. So yeah, let me know if you've read any of these, or if you're planning on reading any of these in December, and also if you have any Christmassy books planned in December, I'd love to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!